Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the JK Experience. Man, I'm flying solo today. I am. It's Friday afternoon. It's late. It's after the working hours. You know, the normal 9 to 5 working hours, that is, I should say. For all of us entrepreneurs out there, we know that there are no normal working hours. But actually, I'm excited about this, man. It's been a while since I sat down with just you guys and just had a conversation. Really, I'm looking forward to this. Man, a lot has gone on this summer. In fact, I'm so looking forward to this because I'm for those of you that are watching online, I'm kind of in the corner of my office here, and you can see like a part of where I have my meetings kind of throughout the week, and it's just kind of a fun, different environment than the regular podcast room. By the way, we're blowing that up and recreating that. Because here's the thing, is like, I am all about like my surroundings. I'm all about the experiences that I'm creating around me. And in my office, for those of you that watch this online, or those of you that have ever been on a Zoom call with me, you know that like the office is pretty awesome. It's really fun. It's cool. It's got everything from a Fit Aid fridge, we've got a cigar humidor in here. I've got a barber chair in here. A couch, some chairs. I've got my little flame time fireplace thing. I got some awesome pictures on the wall as well too that remind me of who I am or who I want to be. Obviously I have the family as well too. Got the man in the arena. Like I said, you name it. I've got so many awesome symbols of the environment that I wanted to create for so long, and here it is. And today I want to talk about that. Like, I want to talk about this environment that we create in our lives. One of the things that I've been extremely passionate over the last couple of years of is this idea of what it means to be a man. And I remember, when I felt like I was at my fullest as a man is when I was playing my sport, playing baseball. And the reason is because I was able to do things that I felt like I was exceptionally good at. Baseball brought excellence out in me, and when it came to the competitive side of the sport. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other things that baseball brought out in me were not the healthiest, and in fact I'm really glad that when baseball was over, there was a lot of things that I no longer participated in that brought out the not so good stuff about Josh. But overall, the opportunity to play at a higher level, it continued to just bring out the best in me and my most competitiveness. And it drew from me the things that I didn't even know sometimes that were possible, but I wanted them. I wanted them. So Man-Made was created, this organization that we've created for those that played and those that served. And those that served are veterans, those that served us in the military, those that served us on the front lines, those that served as firemen, as police officers, first responders, those that served at a greater level. This Man-Made it was created and is been created for those people that want that tribe again, because once again, when the jersey comes off, the uniform comes off, the thing that we don't realize is that everything around us just disappears. And it's so important because we are searching for that. And really the thing that, William and I were talking about, William Branham, 24-year Navy vet, Navy SEAL veteran, and he is one of our lead trainers through Man-Made. One of the things that him and I were talking about is like, what's the philosophical thing that happens that's wrong when either athletes retire or active military men or women for that matter, when they retire and become a veteran? Like, what's the thing that's like wrong, the right and wrong about that? And what we discovered is the thing that's wrong about this is that when you are no longer serving at the capacity that you once were, whether it was in the game and the sport or in a service for the country or your community, when you're no longer serving at that level, you're no longer needed. In fact, you're no longer wanted a lot of the times. And that's really hard because this is something that you gave 110% of yourself of. This is what you sacrificed for, you bled for, you sweated for, right? This was your everything, like talking about. This was your identity. And when that no longer is your identity, what are you left with? You're left with a skeleton of a human being, for that matter, right? And I could keep going down this road, but I'm not going to go down the road, because my point in all of this is that man-made was created so that you as a man had a tribe again of other like-minded men. And one of the events that we do is called Alpha Camp. Now, this whole idea of alpha now in our world is just horrific, right? Of what an alpha is or what an alpha cannot be. And I really believe that it is our job as men to bring back the alpha in our society. Not the alpha as in the a-hole alpha, but the alpha as in the leader, the servant, the person, the man that does great things in their life. And so what we want to do is we want to provide an opportunity for men to experience excellence again, to experience something epic that they accomplished and did. And so the Alpha Camp is all about creating amazing experiences for men that they don't typically sign up for, or that they wouldn't do on their own, and also have an opportunity to do it with other men that will push them. And so this summer we did, one of our Alpha Camps was to go and climb the Grand Tetons up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Now, if you're not familiar with the Grand Tetons, it's an amazing sight to see, and you obviously cannot miss it once you get up into Jackson. But the Grand is 13,775 feet. It's about 20 miles from the base camp, so to speak, the parking lot, I guess, to the very top of it. And we took a group of guys with us, and we didn't know what we were getting into. And that was actually probably the best thing, is the fact that we didn't know what we were getting into. Because if you would have told any one of the guys that we were about to climb 13,775 feet, that it was going to take us 18 hours, we were going to go 20 miles, 42,000 steps, and our stress level was going to be over 20, which the average stress is right now is about 13 to 14 for any of us guys, but our stress was going to be over 20. I'm not quite sure we would have been excited about signing up for that opportunity. But the beautiful thing about going and doing this without really knowing what was going to entail was the fact that we were completely naive, and we went in guns a-blazing. And our guide, Micah, who is just phenomenal. This guy's been climbing the Grand since he was 19 years old and has done the most epic challenges that you can imagine. Obviously, as he climbed this for the 100th time, literally the 100th time, he knew exactly what he was getting into. He knew exactly what we were getting into, even though we didn't have a clue. And as we so we made the climb, we did it. Okay. So I'm just going to fast forward through this entire thing. We made the climb, this most epic of epic things that any of us had really kind of done. Now, we've done other things in our life that I would consider epic and awesome and amazing, but this one in most recent years was probably the most epic thing that we had done. And when we got done, when we finished it, we got a chance to reflect. And this is one of the greatest things about the Alpha Camps that we run, is that we go and we do something amazing, something hard, something not easy, something that you are going to have to fight through mentally, physically, and emotionally to do and accomplish. But you're going to have time to reflect on it. You're going to have time to just sit and enjoy and think about what you accomplished. And so we had 2 days to do that. We had 2 days to sit there with the other guys, the other men in our group, and just glean on the takeaways. Now, we came up with 16, and all of us got to share our notes, and we all got to really dive deep into why we felt one or the other was a great takeaway. And I was talking recently with I think it was William, and we were talking about this idea of responsibility in our life. You know, especially men in the military, right? There's a responsibility that you have. One is that you're serving for the greater good, which is you're serving for the country. But the other responsibility, and most importantly, the thing that keeps you going, is You having the responsibility to the guy on your right and to the guy on your left. And climbing that mountain, going up that vertical, being completely exposed to a 3,000-foot drop. Some of us, sometimes we're tied in, sometimes we were not. Having the present danger of rocks being falling down on us, rocks falling away as we were gripping for that next ledge, simply just slipping. The danger of all of that, we had a responsibility, each of us, to the man in front of us and to the man behind us. And because of that, that's one of the reasons why the stress level was so high. You know, if you talk to the average man right now, the reason why they have a high stress level pales in comparison to what was experienced on the side of that mountain. You know, high stress level is because of the job. High stress level is because they're coaching a sport of their kids. High stress level is trying to figure out what the next thing that they're going to do with the family. Like really, these are stressful times. But the problem that we run into, right, as men, is that if we do not push ourselves at a level that stretches us out because of we're climbing the grand, we're doing the hard thing, the other things in our life become the highest stress in our lives. You know, it's funny, as we walked off that mountain, life became really easy. Thinking about going back to work became really easy. Making that phone call, because we have to make that phone call, became really easy. Having that conversation that before we were like, I'm really not looking forward to that, having that conversation. You know what? It became really easy. Having responsibility in your life is a great thing. It can most certainly bring out the best in you. You know, we have an identity crisis right now in our country, and you've all heard of Matt Walsh's movie, What is a Woman? If you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend Google Matt Walsh, go watch the movie. It's absolutely amazing, because right now we can't identify what a woman is. Like, and people that really know what it is and how know how to define it won't do it because they're too scared, because it doesn't fall in line with the agenda that they're trying to push, right? We also have an identity crisis when it comes to being a man. And what does it mean to be a man in today's modern world? So this idea of what man-made stands for is all about helping the man become a man again. Doing hard things together, having responsibility for someone else, not just yourself. Building that inner confidence that we are worthy of taking on greater responsibility. You've heard me talk about this multiple times, but it goes back to these 5 foundations, these core values that we believe that everybody should stand for, not just men, but we harp on men about this because we've forgotten our identity. When we have a foundation in faith, in the spiritual aspect of it, you know what? We are more confident in who we are. Like, if we are our only authority in our lives, that's a bad recipe. And we see multiple examples of that in leadership within our country now, where you can tell that there is a tremendous lack of humility that man has. And so the faith part of life is vitally important in the health of a man. Because when a man has the spiritual aspect in line, guess what? He has more confidence in who he is because he knows who he is. He knows whose he is. And it can't but overflow into the other foundations. It can't help but overflow, I should say, into the other foundations. It can't help but flow. When you have a confident man in knowing who he is and whose he is, he becomes a great father. He becomes a great husband. And guess what? The family thrives. We have a family crisis as well. And we can blame so much on culture. We can blame so much on all the ideology that's out there right now. But you know what you can't blame it on? You can't blame it on the fact that dads haven't stepped up, because dads have not stepped up. Fathers have not stepped up. They have left the family high and dry. It's because we don't know what it means to be a man. And so as we reflected on the alpha camp of climbing the Grand, each one of us men, as we left this opportunity to get together, we left that more confident in who we were. We left that with more vision and clarity than when we came. Because we affirmed who we need to be. So if you're a man right now and you're listening to this and you're like, dude, man, this is resonating and I never knew that there was something out there like this, then you need to go to manmade.org, man-made.org, and you need to hunt us down. You need to track us down. Like, we're not coming to save you. You need to raise your hand. You need to participate. This is where action needs to happen in your life. If you're a woman and you have a husband and you're listening to this and you're going, dude, I wish my husband would step up and be the man. Well, then you need to give him these resources. You need to allow him to go and do these types of things. I was talking to a guy today. I was talking to a guy today about this, where he said, man, if I do one more thing, I think my wife's going to kill me. And I'm like, that's the problem that we run into as men, is that we're doing stuff that is not bringing value to the home. Like, if we just go on a golf tournament, or a golf weekend tourney, and we come back and we're hungover and we're tired, guess what? Your wife's not going to be too impressed and too excited and too happy about you going on more of them. But if you go on a life-changing event and you come back and you're a better husband and you're on fire as a father, I promise you, your wife won't be able to wait until you have the next event. So wives, if you have a husband that needs to hear this, or needs to be a participant in Man-Made, go to an event, become a part of our boat cruise, become a part of the mastermind, whatever that is that you believe that they need in their life, then it's your job, your opportunity to get this in front of them. Put the conviction in them. Help them raise their hands. It's called responsibility. Are you responsible for the person to the left and to the right of you? Man, it was good to be back with you guys. I know it's been a while, and we've had some amazing podcasts, guests on, and I've loved every minute of exposing what they're doing in their lives to you. And I know you guys have found a lot of value in that, but it was fun. This was fun to share my heart, share what's going on in my life. And I want you to know, I appreciate you. Absolutely love you. And share it. Share this with somebody, because I know somebody needs to hear this message. All right. Take care.